In this video, I'd like to continue talking about manipulating algebraic formulas by looking at two slightly more challenging example problems. And in this problem, the following formula gives the temperature's measure in degrees Fahrenheit, which is labeled as F, where C is the measure in degrees Celsius. And you can see the equation here, F is 9/5 of C plus 32. And this equation is useful if we ever want to convert between Fahrenheit and Celsius, since let's say that we know the temperature in degrees Celsius is 10 degrees. If you plug this into the formula, you will find that the equivalent temperature in Fahrenheit would be 50 degrees. So we need to rearrange the formula to highlight the measure in degrees Celsius. Since in this form, it's useful if we know the temperature in degrees Celsius and we want to convert to Fahrenheit. But sometimes it would be useful to know it the other way. If we know the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, we might want to know what it is in degrees Celsius. So we need to solve this equation for this variable c. And let's start by just rewriting it. F is 9/5 of c plus 32. And there are two main approaches that we can take. We could first get rid of this fraction by multiplying both sides of the equation by 5, or we can save that to the end and start by getting rid of the simpler operations first, namely this plus 32, since we want to isolate this term here with c in it. And right now it has this plus 32 essentially attached to it, so we can cancel out this plus 32 by doing the opposite. We can subtract 32 on each side of the equation so that we get F minus 32 is equal to 9/5 C. And at this point, we need to get rid of this coefficient on C, which is 9/5. And let's start by canceling out the fraction. We can multiply both sides of the equation by 5. And remember, when carrying out multiplication or division on both sides of an equation, we need to multiply everything by that number. Or if we're doing division, we would divide everything by that number. So we need to multiply f by 5 and this minus 32 by 5. Or we can just put it out in front and then use parentheses and distribution to carry out the multiplication. So let's go ahead and do this. We are multiplying everything by 5 on the left-hand side. We get 5 multiplied by f minus 32 times 5. And 5 times 30 is 150. 5 times 2 is 10. 150 plus 10 is 160. So we get 5f minus 160, and this is equal to just 9 times c. Since 5 divided by 5, this is just 1. And at this point, we simply need to cancel out this multiplication by 9 so that we can get c by itself. And to cancel out multiplication, we will do the opposite. We will divide, and we will divide everything by 9. So remember, when carrying out division or multiplication, you must do it to every term. And we can just rewrite this as 5 times f divided by 9. But let's rewrite this as a mixed number. So 9 goes into 160 17 whole times, and then there would be 7 left over. So we have 5/9 of f minus 17 over 7/9 is equal to c. Since 9 divided by 9, that will cancel out and will just become 1 times c, which simplifies to c. So c is this equation here. And if you want, you can test this equation to make sure that it is the correct formula for c by plugging in 50 degrees Fahrenheit and making sure that the degrees Celsius is in fact 10, which if you try this out, it will work. So in the box here, we can say that c is 5/9 multiplied by f minus 17 7/9, or you can write it as 160/9.